How is that? Okay, before we go to start the training, let me introduce a bit about myself. Perhaps some of you already me already know me because I'm a particular originator. I used to join the training before on the and then but I'm coming from a different college. I was stationed in and I just thought I was the career like back to the TLC. I got and they are basically so I have you guys are really nice to me. Okay, before we going to go over the topic what we have today, let me have some ideas. How much you guys are familiar about institutional? You guys read through the before, you never, I just want to get that idea. Okay, very much interesting. What kind of job have you? A law, diploma level? No, undergraduate. Okay. Which way? Okay, for the my clients. My clients. For the PA, yeah. You cover. I'm going to be very like it's drawing now. Like let's say, okay. So you must be a compliant for this. Only they come to be very okay. You really in the subject. And then but you will I don't know. How I for you. Many times I'm a practitioner. But I did not started, did not even look for the first like that. He does a big introduction of myself. My name is Mama Zana. You can always call me Zana. I want to have a situation as Zana. Okay, I'm saying just coming. I'm on the video. I'm patient and and now I become like new and the new the video. Okay, and then the thing just a bit of the to understand how did you guys are actually familiar with it as well. I mean, being through that you are before you're there, everyone else. How did you find it? We are not experiencing ODM. ODM. Okay. Oh, very well. Yes. Then you would still from that okay. I think in 3 years. Oh yes, you have to take one time. Okay, how can I do my question? I think for the diploma and master, we got to do that. Oh, okay, yeah, okay, very well. It's for the economy, there is a comment and it's a program that is specific when it is the total graduation hours. It was not only including people to get a school. So when waiting for the full education, yeah. So that of our program go through the good point of money. Thanks. Okay, it's going to be how guys feel whenever they happen to you. Okay. Next, our professor, I'm very very bad. That's not important. I think our support system is very, very strong out here. Yeah. So yeah, it is nervous process. Okay, first, there is an advanced documentation that we need to follow. So, okay, what this is correct. Yeah, okay, because the form is yes, right. What you be implemented in practice. Wow. Okay, this is that actually yes, for you because every functions, right? And okay, just like a bit about myself, basically being a confident and together. But on the scientific field of study, which when you are becoming appointed as an entrepreneur, right, you are basically being assigned on the specific area of study based on your specification. My specification is like culinary and gastronomy. So I'm still junior. I can say there are a lot of other MQA seniors that I will learn through. So is this going to be my second year of appointments? I've been appointed in 2023. Next year is going to be my 3 year. Throughout this 2 years, yes, I will see a lot of the other you will see on the audit, either it's for my compliance, either for the PA, audit, either for the traffic, for application audit. It's important for us saying that is there any difference between the three audits? My sorry, my answer would be yes, there are difference. For different audits, MQA will set a different expectation. How they wanted a kind of view, the documentation, the PPT, the settlement thinking, how they wanted us to view it, how they should, as a panel, how we should comment on every documentation and the training today. Okay, I wanted you guys have a view saying that what is that to look at whenever it's happening. Okay, then like you guys see that now saying that when I asked, did you guys basically burn it whenever the audit came? Then you're going to say, yes, that's how my education. But then I used to be on sugar when I was working in the school down there on my previous station. Yes, I am the audit. But then now I'm basically the so I'm no longer auditing, I'm the auditor. So how do I feel? It's basically the equal burden. Okay. So it's so good to become auditor. Not because it doesn't have to do education. Not. Because I have to accept like it's of the document that I have to do, then give my command typically on every area of the not just in the table four, we look at the whole idea of the program and also at institution at level. That is your answer. We I think well, okay, that was a good question. We find that I think different audits going to have a different expectation, different perspective that we have to run. When we go for the BA conventional audit, we wanted to see either the institution is practically ready. So if they are not ready, we are not. We're going to advise them to make sure that they are ready before you offer the we are going for the full education. We want to make sure that you guys are basically doing the right thing. So means either you are your program are basically okay, aligned with whatever we require and so on. But if we go for the what we call it compliance, we wanted to see either you are follow whatever that we guide. There any improvement throughout the 5 years that will work. So different again, we're going to have a different perspective, expectations on the and also the program itself. So bear in mind whoever panel that's going to assess your program, they are basically the panel that comes with the knowledge and also guided with whatever area of expertise they come with. Like I said, my area of expertise is only for culinary and also gastronomy. I cannot assess program that beyond that. I mean, if you're going up, if you can assess hospitality, cannot. Why? Because the MQA look into the expectation for their panel. So if you doesn't have the expertise, then I'm going to give you the program early. Okay, cool. Okay, so let's match this topic. Okay, I have to stop on because whenever I teach a student, yes, my student always say, can you slow down a bit? Okay, this is basically my how can say usual thing whenever I pick up. But then whenever that get me slow down and then actually slow down a bit, I'm going to make happy for you. That's the solution. Okay? Whenever. All right. Cool. Okay, this is our topic today. At the understanding the MQA expectations during the audit. Practically, I'm not going to say this is practical training, not necessary training, even to my motive. Then I have to do the training. I'm not going to say the sharing because some of you might have to go through the audit very soon and do that the next year. As much as I can throughout this session, I wanted to share all the knowledge that I already gained on the past 2 years. Like I said, just experience. Some of the panel, they already have experience, like 10 years or even 20 years. My experience is okay. But situations can happen. Okay, whenever they have a question asked, I know how you going to make it happen. And not on. I'm going to answer you accordingly. Okay. All right. So this is our training objective. What we're going to go through together at the end of the session. I expect everyone are able to understand about the critical and audit requirements. Okay. And then strengthen the alignment of the curriculum, which is a very important part. Okay. Remember, when it comes to the audit, we are not only look for the curriculum, yes, level 4 is a month when it comes to the audit. But beyond level 4, we are also looking for that. Let's say, for example, the student report. We look into the governance of the program, how it been run through, and then to improve program readiness through the effective quality assurance, and also continuous quality of improvement. This is a very important, especially if you go through the compliance audits. Okay, if you go through compliance audit, we wanted to see that agree this accordingly is that being recorded, very recorded, very implementation. Okay, but then you are still under the PA status. Okay, like I said, we wanted to see if that are ready for the program. So if you are not ready, so perhaps we're going to ask if the readiness. Okay, cool. Talking about what we're going to go through on today, the first thing was definitely the instructions on today's topic. Then next we're going to move into the key areas focus in preparing the presentation. Okay, which is I believe everyone are actually looking forward to which area that we should strengthen when it comes to the visits of the audit visit. So I found out the part focus over there, including the curriculum and design and delivery, which you guys are very familiar with. And I believe you guys are basically also the expert of the area that you guys are on today. Like, so, it's an expert. We are basically not able to teach the number. Okay, because we have analytics, including assessment method, governance, and also the student support. This is basically the common area that we are and then prepare for the review and visit. So the key point over there is basically implement the good practice. So, and then common mistake is what's the common mistake? Which is the common mistake? Basically, my ideas where I went through a quite number of ideas before, and what is the institution that I audited are doing the mistake initiatives by telling you guys today, hopefully for your next visit, you are not the same thing. Okay, I wanted to see the improvement. And then the last one is example of audit report and some learning activities. Yes, I prepared just a very few learning activities just to get you guys see how we are at the panel going to see the and which area that you should improve accordingly. Okay. 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 What is the MQA explanation method? Okay, that understanding the MQA explanation method for you guys. I can see yes, especially if you are basically due the visit. So due means you have to prepare every single day as what it is. So MQA audit visit, should I be worried? Should I worry? Okay, let me take don't be. Okay, one, because I need to be on your web page now. I'm no longer there, but then I take equal burden. Okay. My suggestion, as long as you are preparing everything good, especially on the documentation, the audit will be easy. Okay. So the only problem comes when you guys the PPT. I'm going to refer as PPT because I'm so used to the term. If you are not, PPT is a post-document activity. Sorry. The PPT is not ready, then they go to the problem. But most of the time, yes, they are ready. Okay. So why should you worry? Like your documentation are basically clear. There's nothing that you should be worried. If you reduce error and non-compliance and repeat the corrections. So whenever they have an issue with the documentation, correct accordingly and document it. Which is when it comes to documentations, so we wanted to do the changes and so forth. The most important thing is definitely governance, which is the people who going to approve the documentation. So not just for the approval, you have to report accordingly. How we going to make it happen? Okay, so that then how academic staff to understand common quality standard and build a culture of continuous quality of improvement. So this is practically the most important part, which is the number 4. Why I'm saying most of the PPT it doesn't do the continuous teaching part. So they are always listing part of the secrets in every PPT. So most of which. So whenever that we come to Audit, we're going to say where's your the report of the CPR, they are not able to see it. Most of it is practically a verbal saying that, oh, we already done it. When? Last year. Where is the proof? Okay. So that won't be the issue. Okay. Then strengthen the readiness for both internal and external feasibility. So you have to make sure that whatever that you have when it comes to the documentation is going to be ready. So once it's ready, I think nothing to be worried about. Okay. What I can expect from the program? Program is basically clear and updated program aims and also not just that, generally the whole documentation. So it has to be aligned between the program aim, PEO, PLO, and also all the syllabus that you are basically having within the specific program. So definitely align with the MQA. I believe everyone knows what is MQA. Everyone doesn't know? It's we are in the middle of that. Okay. Okay, nothing right without. Okay. Well, my body of knowledge. We keep recording at the book. So book is also important. You know where to find books, right? Okay, so this one. So I don't have to teach anymore because we got our travel now. So educate something, facilities and learning resources. Okay, this is basically include the governance. Okay. When you open the program, you have to make sure if the program needs a lab, is the lab ready? How many lab that you have? Okay, that's about it. That learning resources, you should have a library. So if you say that our library is practically just this one book rack, is that enough? Then how many programs that you have? A same program, it's not enough. Okay, that's the thing. Okay. Strong governance and proper documentation process and evidence of a TKI. You see that? So every single slide, I'm stressing about CQI because CQI is very important, especially when it comes to the audit or compliance. Okay, the reason why it's important because we wanted to see either the program or basically undergo improvement or not. So if you're going to see that oh, he doesn't do any changes, not because the one that already approved by the MQA, you're not just going to follow that. Yeah, right. You're going to follow whatever the other approved by the MQA, but then along the way, you wanted to see the improvement. Why? Because your program has to follow whatever the requirement from the MQA from the industry. If the industry are changing, I cannot change it, change accordingly. Because our industry are basically has a fast changing market. We wanted to have a student that live in our program, they are basically sellable with the industry means whenever they wait, the industry wanted it as a part of their people. Okay, that's why we are looking into the environment importantly, especially on compliance audit. Okay, the panel auditor perspective, how they think. Okay, I'm going to give you one of the things, how usually panel going to think whenever they are doing the audit. Okay, so that's the some key areas. Most importantly, we are looking for the evidence, no verbal confirmation. Okay, like this, when you have to approve saying that can I see whatever changes that you made that you are not able to provide, so that will be it. Okay, that's why the documentation is important. Record I need to be every single time. Sorry, did I get the question? Then the paragraph alignment and consistent cross document. Neither one each other. Okay, it cannot be that you have a different program learning outcome, then course learning outcome going to be completely different, and the principles that you're going to teach the student also different. So it's going to be completely wrong from that. And expect the authenticity is not no template minutes or recycled document. Okay, you got it. Whenever we talk about audit, generally we can do that if the minute have been done last minute. Yeah, we can. Why? Because like I think I need to become one of the auditee before the new guys side. Then I know this happened. So the meeting we should done now. So, but then when it comes to the audit, don't be surprised if they know that the minute is practically done last minute. Why? How did we able to know? Because it doesn't align with whatever that you guys are practicing. So in the minute I see differently, but then whatever evidence the other evidence that you guys give us is practically different things. So how? That's how we are actually able to notice. Okay, that's why one of the reasons why there's a lot of comments when it comes to the report. Okay, then check on the sustainability, including the support and facilities. Then the observed process not promises. Okay, we wanted to see a process. Okay, that's again the TVR. We're going to say that it's already been changed. Okay, where was the changes? Where was the record? The minute meeting. To who is the changes? We're going to say, okay, these changes are going to be implemented on the next coming semester. So next coming semester, who is the student? Can I see the cost structure? That really been applied. That's how the evidence comes from. Okay, so we're going to track back everything. And the assessed whether the lecturer teach within the qualification and also, okay, I have teach a bit about it on my next slide. We're going to look because this is also going to be quite an issue on my previous audit concern, which is I hope we should still have issue. Whether it is okay, kan, okay, especially about the legal. Okay, focus in prepare the documentation. Okay, for those others, if you do for the visit, okay, I know you guys are basically at the moment updating everything. What else I can do? What else I can improve? What else I can improve? Okay, so which basically the areas that we're going to focus. I have a line up here, but I'm not going to miss any. And always a question thing that done. Do you need to do this also? You can always ask me. Then I'm going to answer accordingly. Maybe I'm going to have to miss it. Because if I'm going to put more, the slide going to be long. Okay, I know you guys are not willing to wait. Okay. So the first the key is definitely a curriculum design. Everyone familiar. So which curriculum design that we need to improve? Level 4 lah. Mana lah level 4, okay? Not that the level 4 is also fail and skill. Teach and learning delivery. We're going to assess how we're going to deliver the class. What assessment that you guys are doing, which is the assessment method. Which is that going to be a right assessment for the subject. Okay, then governance. Who is the people that going to approve things? Is that the governance are basically doing the review at what issue? And then the last one is basically the student support. Okay. So remember, we are not just looking at level 4. We look the PPT at the whole institution. You wanted to see what else. Beside the program, if the student are come and study this program for this PPT, what else they're going to get? They're going to give support fully as the student need. So that are basically the things that we are looking for. Okay. Then curriculum design, macam biasalah. Okay, the design. So how are you going to do the design? Especially the format that been given from the MQA. So you will have to fill out every single thing, especially on level 4. So how do you think should be designed? It has to be a logic and progressive curriculum structure. Why it should be logic? Not like it has to follow whatever they have. Okay? That's why one of the key requirements is that on the market analysis. Market analysis. That's the proof that we do. What is the market need? So every program, every industry generally, the market is going to be different. That's why I wanted to check. So whatever the market has been suggested, industry will suggest, implement, reflect what is done. Okay, that's typically the mission of common core, right? Common core, medium core, and elective subject. Also, a very common to understand why. Because it is stated in the program that it's already clear line. Okay? How many percent the common core should have in the program? Program for the elective part. Then, book of knowledge clearly defined throughout the courses. Is that important to follow the book of knowledge? Very important. Okay, why very important? Because we doesn't want you to teach the student outside what they supposed to do. Okay, let's say for example, you are teaching, since I'm coming from culinary, right? I'm going to give an idea about it. So you are teaching the culinary students. But he only is practically they supposed to have no understand what the food is. But then suddenly you're going to say that, oh, I think I'm going to let them learn about forensics. Because they need to, whatever they need. Can that? Okay, that's one. Book of knowledge, under the program standard, is practically about what subject that you should offer. Every program standard, you have a book of knowledge. So if you follow accordingly, and not going to program. The subject practically not within the book of knowledge, I'm going to be a question every time of that. I'm very already for but now I have to structure. Okay, old structure and new structure. Okay, in the old structure with knowledge, I have one element or area of human resources. My old structure, human resource areas covered in civic organization structure, we introduce management as a subject. Okay, but a new structure is only for new students. OB is for all students. So for this next year, when they come, how should I explain it? Now I know it's something related. You can explain things like the subject that you're going to offer for the next students to be the next subject is practically similar to the HR. How many percent of the similarity or to the organization? Yes. What? I don't know. I mean, like, if you can answer, I mean, like, the next subject. So you remove the spending from the whole structure, right? Yes. And then only okay, because in the UK, got OB, organization, okay, expectation and betul. And these two areas we combine and cover it inside this organizational behavior in the structure. Okay. So it's great. OB is still there, but covering only OB. Okay. And then HR, we introduce HRM to cover HRM area. Yeah, but then can I but who to explain it? How to explain it? Yes, they are basically the old structure. Then you are moving it into the new structure, then you have the document materials. Yeah, that's good enough. Then you will give it. So there's a location. The old structure, not all areas. Because you're already moving to the new structure, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay. And then how long that the old structure for the students are already done? Okay. For the old structure, still I as finance, then still have around 2 years. Okay. Okay, understood. Okay, so what you need to do because if the audit time, they're going to see, oh, the old structure doesn't follow, but the new structure that you guys are basically doing, which is under the CPI, is basically follow whatever is suggested. Okay, that means they will not affect my investors, the whole sales, because they still have like a few years to go. It's okay. It is okay. Okay, because you already see the problem, you have to change accordingly. That's the one thing to see. Oh, okay. Okay, so this is so that's not the question. It feels somebody exactly often reduce the like if I'm not putting the get not the problem is for ambitious. Okay, okay. I do understand what you are saying that okay, this all student are basically doesn't have whatever the new student has. Okay, it's going to be lacking on the student. We don't see on that particular weeks. Okay, and I know when we come to the audit, we wanted to see like if you see the problem, see that the PPT already find problems. So they already corrected the problem. It's a good enough for the PPT and also the student. But then for the whole student, are they going to be seeing anything? There wasn't an issue for them going to be an issue for the exam. So how you can get the student? Are you going to give extra classes for them? Either you wanted to give more knowledge so that they can be graduate equally as the new student are. That's how you get the benefit. Okay. Oh, good. Yeah. Exactly. We wanted to see improvement. Okay. Especially on the compliance. Okay. Not necessarily for the sorry. The PA, definitely it doesn't have to be. For the FA, yeah, we're going to look into it. More changes should be done because for the PA, for the FA, for the full accreditation, you guys need to finish the full one cycle. So within one cycle, like this, 3 years. Is there any changes made within the 2 years? So if you're going to say, yeah, we change here, and then because we find out the one which already been approved from the PA, practically needs some improvement, not align whatever they have to consider. Okay, it can be done. Boleh, tak masalah. That means if you look at got PA, nothing was MA. If you want to equal that's allowed. Yes, allowed. Not a problem. As long as they are in the commented, putting what we call evidence. You want to see evidence, which is okay. Right, then any questions? All good? Okay. Upward content definitely reflected the current industry needs and trends. So I'm saying, okay. Okay. When we document. Okay. Yes. You do. Okay. What we see practically then we did where it is. Oh, okay. Because this what's the implemented? Yes. I don't know how this implement as new okay and so now I am not because is that really limited? I mean, is there okay, but the previous so you said in the slide. Yeah, but there's no implementation. No, okay, you have to describe. Okay, why? Okay, my suggestion is, okay, I'm not going to say try to hide it, but this why okay, what you honestly assume by the government is the next that implementing and usually what we're looking at saying that okay, you do this now, the December, then the new structure going to start January. So in your minute, you're going to say this new structure is going to be implemented on the coming January semester. So we expect as a panel, January semester they already use not the whole structure. That's what we expect. So how we can computing estimates that was updated. Okay. We did here there was a new update. Okay. Almost. Okay. And something that was made for was removed from quite drastic. So we just did from the pages. Whatever was presented is relevant and we can we clarify? Okay. We have to because yes. So means that you're going to specify a reason and meaning why you doesn't want to implement it according to the previous day because of this is. So then the new change is going to apply in the following semester. So that's what we will do. But then after the approval, then one who doesn't take an idea, that's going to be okay. Yes. Let's say the seller of it's supposed to implement, let's say Jan 2025. Okay. And then suddenly someone only found the what to inform the oh because and how every
This one is the level of student. So it's really good for application. The implementation by governments is also cascade down. How it works was cascaded down. That has not been done is school level. Not for the not.
Lucky and with audit your program. Not all the secrets. Okay.
Okay, maybe let me just emphasize like this. The educator social security school that was really great. People actually discuss and then the study so so the next is study so this study and from the people question and the people agree on the indicators so that's no below the 0.3 anymore. Alright, then point one we go to. So the point is be implemented immediately. So during the exhibition, okay, this will not be saying these changes for January 2026. He will put effective daily. Sometimes they say he will only take effect April 2026. So in your situation, let's see January 2026. So in January, the new cohort must follow the new system. In 8 months, the ministry changed the new program standard. So these cohort of students will follow this. And the next one, only the next power below. So the change of 8 months will be very fast. So the scheme of making mistakes can we make the best forwards changes? Which is very that external and you could share the skills but as for the same, it actually states how it goes. The story, but let's see what it does. Auditor very straightforward. They want the standards. So they will see this is the thing in January 2026 they change. So they would see any other things last year. But the ground show me so then after they see the next forward. August, the new program standard, they see that can you show me? So they go separate. So the sport is change of this is of this and it's oh because once the link already put into the system rules, the link already say where will it be implemented and in January, the new that cohort will then follow what is in secret and then change. For students, very difficult finding the years certain schools will change here. But this schools everyone here. So there is basically not the age private or university January. That's because all this can change just over some of the will always we always look at it as it's linked to the as well as the school of that's the see the stage that they needed the recommendation. And student also teaching something as a monitor, the practitioner,
I see. Yeah, in fact, basically able to justify accordingly. Okay, justify saying that why you cannot investigate blah 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 and so on and so forth. So as the planner are basically able to understand. Yes. Okay. Cool. All right. Teaching and learning gathering. So how are you going to deliver the lessons? Are we going to look into it? Yes. Okay. Lesson guideline is the only thing that all use varied teaching strategies. Right? In different subject of nature, they might going to need a different teaching strategy. sometimes they're going to cause like a circuit or whatnot, but some think beyond like the lab. So you have to make sure that they're basically these are assigned to the student. So means basically that in order for students to learning pattern. Evidence of student engagement and active learning, accurate and transparent SLT. Are we looking into the SLT? Yes, we look into the SLT. Okay, so we're not going to say that we count every calculation on the SLT. No, we're going to look either especially reliable into the subject of. That's why every panel that came to audit the program, they obviously have to put on the field of study the program they go to. So that's why we are basically looking into the SLT. I'm going to give you some examples on the active learning later. How we look into the SLT and which areas. Okay, consistent teaching and documentation. That assessment definitely going to align with the CLO level on the taxonomy. Okay, why I'm stressed on this, align with the CLO, that's not every assessment that you gave. Then it needs the CLO. So if it doesn't answer the CLO, it wasn't a right assessment. Okay, the assessment blueprint definitely. It should have the instructions and also marking rubrics. The assessment that you gave. It needs instructions and also marking rubric. Reliable rubric, evidence of assessment moderation. So if the assessment needs a moderation, we need the evidence. Most of the time, it's actually exemplary, final exemplary. So we wanted to see the evidence of the moderation assessment. Information communicated to the student that we deliver accordingly. Tell the student what they need to do when it comes to the assessment. So this is assignment 1. Assignment 2, this is how I would expect assignment 2 to be done. That's how it is. Governance, again, is that the governance important? When it comes to the audit, yes, we wanted to see how reliable the governance is for the institution, especially for the program. So how are you going to do it? Maybe let's say they have a cheated. Who is the first person? The lecturer actually needs a certain point in the table 4. So who that the lecturer should be reported. So who going to apply? See that the student PL, then we are going to make a move to the AD approval. Head of food going to send to the tonight, blah 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 and so forth. We wanted to see okay that all the things are basically being documented accordingly, which is through the things again. Then the stakeholder consultations. That's the reason why we are looking into who is your stakeholder. Okay, which is important to improve the curriculum design. Which is the stakeholder is including the industry panel experts that you guys invited accordingly and review your curriculums. External members. So we wanted to see who is the one that you guys appointed. Is that actually reliable to the program that have been hired to the program to start with? If you are basically hired someone else that outside the industry need, outside the program need and nature, there must going to be something wrong. Either with the program, with the government, or I can see the person itself, okay, which is that student, if they are basically not an expert for the area, there shouldn't be a person they're going to get the opinion for the program software. Then updating policy and procedures whenever needed. If only that need to update the policy for the program. Okay. Then student supports. Again, this is also an important area when it comes to the audits. Why we wanted to see the student support? Because we wanted to see whenever the student comes and register for the program, are they getting the equal support that they should in order to complete the program? That's a concern. What kind of support that we need that we look is the institution, the PPT, have the counselor. Let's say, know that the Gen Z nowadays, they always come with all the problems, right? Yeah. Then we wanted to see that support that have been given to the student equally, including the section for the new student, proper guidance for the student that agrees with the student agrees, is that the students are basically not able to catch at home. So seeing that they are basically exploring, we are going to see every single assessment that you guys gave, they are basically able to get what is supposed to be. So we wanted to see how you're going to do with this student. Because on every document, especially assessment, you need to give like a document on the marks saying that okay, we see the student that these students, practically students are basically having a low mark in every assessment. Like we have a 3 assessment, assignment 1 low mark, assignment 2 low mark. Even for the set also, we can exam also low mark. So what you should do with the students? You have them, how do you have them? What is the approval that you are basically have them? So we're going to say, oh, we send the student to the counseling. This is a proof that the student went for the counseling. Besides that, we are also help the student through the extra learning, personal learning with the lecture itself, blah, 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 and so forth. So that's what we wanted to see when it comes to the student support. Okay, preparing for the MQA, the do and don'ts. Can you see the do and don'ts? Not really. I just see the idea. Prepare for the MQA grade and also revisit in case of compliance. Document to be updated calendar of the year. Okay, remember? Updated. I standard. Standardized profile, template and format across the program. So you have to make sure every single file that you present to the panel is the standard file. Okay, so if they want meant for the specific structure, every single file has the same structure. Let's say you're going to say, okay, I'm going to present the 2 semester file. The first semester is basically have a different structure. Second semester have a different structure due to the new implementation that we have for the program. So can we do that? Not a problem. But then you're going to tell the penalty that okay, the doctor, whoever, is basically the 2 data standard file, 2 semester standard file that we prepare for you. This file will have a different structure. The new structure that we currently implement. And always setting that. If you amend it accordingly, okay, you need to amend it. Our suggestion is basically always do the internal audit. Why? From there, you can see which areas that you can improve, which areas that you are able to review in order to seek for the actual audit with the panel. Okay, then how to answer during the audit, not the training itself. Sometimes, whenever that you try to hide here and there, then the basically go to all the That's why they say, well, the student think differently, the lecturer think differently. How can it be? Then we go to respect the document. That's how it is. Okay. That's after TV, continuous personal development, TV, is that important? Like the requirement that you have 40 hours training, we look into it. When it comes about it, we look into it. Kenapa? Why we look into it? Because not just the program, we wanted to see either the staff are basically the staff developments throughout the year. Okay, so because we wanted whoever they teach the subject, they are basically improving themselves equally in order for the program teaching the students. Okay, that's basically important. Okay, sometimes I'm to understand and stuff. I'm going to say, untuk training bernampaknya. I want to say that training before, but no choice. As a teacher, as a lecturer, and especially during the audit, yes, the panel going to look this way. Okay, that's why the institution have implemented this PD, and also part of the requirement is look into the guideline for the practice, one of the documents for the how I'm going to develop the curriculums and so on. One of the going to stress about is CPD. Continuous personal development for the teaching staff. To ensure that course allocation reflect natural qualification. Basically, the one that I'm going to touch later, which is every single staff that teach the specific subject, they are basically going to be the rights of the subject, not going to be going to say that I have the background as culinary, my background is culinary. Can I teach law? No. Even though during my bachelor, I already studied law, so I cannot teach law. Why? Because my area of expertise is different from the subject that I'm teaching. Okay, it cannot be. What is like? Okay, I contact PLO and align with the NCF, definitely 2.0. Our consistent and updated curriculum have been reviewed regularly. Okay, if you're going to ask Dana, how how much that we need to review. Can that every semester audit and done. Can that once a year, audit and done once a year, not a problem. As long as it's going to be gradually, and then everything will be that's what I wanted to see. Okay. Then well-maintained evidence, CPI, core structure clear, reflect body of knowledge within the academic professional expertise. Okay, why I would stress about that one? Because of my previous audit, there's quite an issue when countries. Okay, an issue is that this lecture are not but happen to be. That's the thing that we are basically looking when it comes to the lecture background. That's why one of the documents for your audit to prepare for the audit is practically lecture CV. Okay. So if you are going to ask why you need to prepare the CV, then the panel wanted to see the lecturer are basically able to teach this based on what language background and qualification they might have. Okay. Somehow they can be on high qualification, but not in the free line of the subject. Function is provided. Okay. Understand the CQI. Okay, I'm going to touch a bit, which is along the way just now. Every single part, I talk about how important the CQI is. So, okay, CQI stands for the continuous quality improvement, which is a program, the changes that you make accordingly in order to strengthen all the changes. Even though you're going to say, I just did small changes, because I choose the segment assignment. Rather than it's going to be a video assignment, I choose the report. Can it be done as a CQI? Yes. Okay. Even the small changes matter. Okay. But then again, it needs to be recorded. Okay. Even though you're going to say, I'm going to remove one topic from my course. The topic number 2 is basically, I don't think it's relevant anymore. Can it be considered as a CQI? Yes, it is there. Okay. Even the small changes matter when it comes to the CQI. Why? Because we wanted to see a bit onto the performance, industry trends, and also stakeholder input. The reason why we're going to have a external member to come and visit your program. Okay, and review to that. The people clearly, not only during the audit. Okay, this is actually a quite number of happen. Okay, remember that we ask for the CPI report, let's say the audit was done in October, then the CPI report is specifically done on September. Okay, so yeah, then we say, oh, that's what CPI. Okay, we don't want to see that to happen. So usually, if we find out they are basically the CPI have been done just before the audit, then going to be a long report on it. Okay, a long suggestion. Okay, to action evidence, not even the outcome. Okay, so when you go to the issue, what action that you will take, going to approval for the governance, what is the evidence, the minutes, and when the outcome is, the change is going to be implemented. If you're going to say the implement on the following semester, so make sure it is implemented for those semesters. Okay. Then example of syllabus, update to revise assessment, method and ambition tutorial, industry given change. The market analytics. What is the industry wants? So from the review, from the result that you get from the market analytics, then you are allowed to change your program accordingly as what the industry. As long as you already have a proof, then that our analysis, the review that we pull out from the market, and we change our program. Okay, book of knowledge. Okay, everyone know what knowledge again by going to finding program methods. Each of program methods they have a long list of the body of knowledge. Okay, which is the core knowledge area, and it has to be ensured subjects are sequenced logically. I do believe some of the subjects are basically have a prerequisite. Okay, the student have to take this particular subject first in order to move to the next subject. So that are basically one of the reasons, the idea behind the book of body of knowledge. Okay, cool. Then topic of represent foundation, intermediate, and also advanced knowledge. In the body of knowledge, they're going to tell you which one should be do first, which is the student need to take this one first, then move to the next and find relevant and start for proper lecture. course assignment. Whatever is suggested and knowledge, it also need to be done on the table for. That is followed equally up until the lecture syllabus and student. Okay, that should be asked with the subject alignment. Okay, this is one of the things I wanted to strike out with. Why? Because when you again, I said on the past previous audit that I have, it's a number that more than one. So there are basically the issues that have been highlighted along the way. That you must teach subject within their academic qualifications. Must. Okay, you cannot teach a subject without the qualification of the subject. It's going to say, when I have a diploma in culinary, my degree is hospitality. Can I teach subject in hospitality? Yes. Can I teach subject in the culinary? Yes. Okay. Can I teach subject in finance? I did finance in my diploma and also my degree. Can I teach finance? Cannot. Okay. That's okay. Cool. Industrial experience, strengthen the teaching quality for qualification, must string of study, high qualification and specialization. We're going to check on the highest qualification, what the lecturer has, and also their field of study. He understands the lecturer, they might going to have like a quite interesting field of study. Saying that the diploma line, degree line, master line, PhD line. So how we can make it happen? We're going to check on what is your first degree. Because for us, the first degree is equally important. So if you're going to say my diploma is culinary, my degree is hospitality. Suddenly I took my master in human resource management. Can I teach human resource? The best subject. But you are more strengthened on hospitality. It's the first degree of hospitality. So if you're going to say, Dharma, I have like a three. I have a degree one in hospitality. I have a degree two in accounting. I have a degree three in the other area. Okay, can I teach it? Most of the time you go to the first one. But then in the case that you have more than one degree, that's why I was allowed to teach this. Okay, but do remember the first degree is always important to define the subject and how that is. Then mismatch is always a red flag. Okay, mismatch that means you are not teaching equally with your qualification of the problem. Okay, cool. Documentation to update the CV and subject. That's why when coming to the audit, you are only asked for the updated CV for the lecture. If you the lecture going to say, I already okay, my data primary I study primary, but I already have like all the experience in the industry within this. I mean, experience industry is basically supporting document for the qualification. So not saying that you are basically culinary qualification, but I've been teach in the finance. Sorry, I've been working in the finance industry for quite a year. Can I teach the finance? But it still look into the qualification. Whatever is that is basically a supporting what your experience. But if the IT, and then we allocate the lecturer to teach logistic area because in logistic area got IT. Okay, how percent is the IT allocating the logistics? We are looking at what happened in representing like 40 to 50%. And so it's like they have the cost savings is practically the same, but they have 10 topics. Yeah. So how many video 10? Fine. He said, he can say that biology doesn't allow it. But if you spend with someone, there is no issue. There is no issue. Okay, because they are also speaking, they actually have a very lecture in one. Yes, we have no issue. The one the lecture has to be qualified to teach the super. Okay, and then the project part, how to document it. Okay, put down how many lecture names. Okay, yes, number four, lecture name. They have like a three column, right? Put their name. if we want to do that, do we have to present it to Senate? Or the changes on the link? What is that? Because you have to it on the table. So when you submit the Senate, you have to submit then to get people. We didn't. Why? That's how to be allowed that. My suggestion is whoever they are more qualified going to be on the first page, on the table box. Even though you don't say them, the numbers lecture are definitely better indicated, but the numbers definitely more qualified. So put the animal the number one. Okay, they need that in the table box. It's something that is very because like see, when from the table four, it has to be like the what I'm doing that kind of this, but okay, let's show me. Whenever the name appears in table four, it has to be the name appear on the TV that is function for the function. Okay, because on the submission, you not just submit the table four, you are submitting the TV of the lecture that appears in table four. What is French? Got so many one word. So, okay. So, the subject. That someone okay, like okay, for example, I had to lecture. Doctor Young, for example. In the physical form, it is Dr. Young saying, okay. But and then for next semester, we decided, okay, let's take Dr. Maria to teach this together. She will say qualified. Not a problem. Even though you need some in the you for visit. For the visit or visit and some people to for the TV. Fully, it's funny when the teachers that at all.
So that's what's the relevance to the e-commerce. E-commerce is blending between IT and business commerce, right? Then in the store, you can have business, but we don't have any business related lecture. In FOB, they have business related lecture. So obviously, IT account, we definitely don't have business related lecture. We have e-commerce as a subject. How do we solve this? If our one of our things. But I have a information. I yeah. Yeah. But typically in last time it's I think we don't have a lecture. So how do we for this subject? But this from a message because the subject is in between. IT is how IT is how.
Okay, then you could define those that belong to which form. The polarity or the form of it. The form is particular.
But there's e-commerce, there's no, I don't know, you know, define the floor. It's not like a core business, it's not like a core IT. In between, it's not really. Yeah. This
Like the hiring, then you have to look into the board and ask about it. So my what is strategy is basically the subject needs to be taught by the lecturer that equivalent qualifications. It cannot be anyone from outside the field. Okay, that's it. If you're going to say that can you put two names? Then one person is strategically qualified to teach, another person can be asked to assist. Yes, you can do that, not a problem. Because what we consider is basically the second person is not really qualified, going to get a guidance from the first person stated in the document. Okay, that's what we assume as a auditor. The two names must be there in the report. Yeah, for the start people. Okay, even everyone is there. See, there are so you have to copy the documentation method. Okay, this is basically a school content. Okay, so I didn't establish on how this beyond thousands because you can see the document is equal as it should be. Okay, fine. Then petition made. Okay, this practically here and there. What was the common constants when it comes to the audit and what we found? Okay, so definitely PLO. Okay, common problem. So everyone knows that PLO not measurable, not aligned, not matching equally. The most efficient biology has the same problem. Okay, the hand PLO repeated across the classes. All the PLO basically just look the same, especially on the lab classes. Okay, why? Because I said again, I'm auditing for the pandemic. We have a lot of kitchens. Then most of kitchens are basically delivered on a similar way. It's just a different topic. So if they have a 10 kitchen classes, the PO number one is all the same. So are we going to allow it? No. Even though you're going to justify saying that, but me, this is in this kitchen also, we also teach the same thing. Of course, but you have to design the PO based on the core syllabus of the subject. So if you're going to see that the core syllabus is basically to make sure that students learn how to make a cake, then the yellow is need to reflect that particular way. But that's not match the yellow. So means every assessment that we take has to be match the yellow equally. So if you have three assignments, each assignment need to match with the yellow. Okay, and let's teach it not unrealistic. That's much our work for the lecture. Okay, we have a cross for the lecture that teach 10 subject in sense especially. Okay, so then we see one year start. Then when we talk about the community that why this lecture is special, because we are relatively understaffing program that talk about. That one we cannot set. Okay. Under the requirements, the lecture cannot be more than 20 hours per week. But we consider the rest of the hours is basically for you to finish. That's what it needs. Then cost five incomplete inconsistent is a quite common whenever that we are presented in the profile, they are always making here and there. Okay. So minutes done last minute or two generates okay, this is what I say, a more minute. Macam minit tu tengok ni dah buat macam ni. Yeah, they all that people who try to that's a no, no, okay. If you reported only during the audit, again, I say the audit came effectively on October, CPR dated on September. After two cannot be. Okay, it has to be done consequently. Okay, so means on daily basis, can done special basis, if you can done lecture qualification, not making subject. Okay, this is valid. I think on my previous audit, a couple of audit that happened, that's quite an issue. Okay, then more knowledge unclear and poorly structured. So you have to make sure every single subject under the structure that you have is matched on the especially on the programming for subject. Example of object and learning activity. Do I have example? Yes. Okay, so what I have to need is basically take for example for the table for maybe 1 class. Okay. So what I want to do is basically find the mistake. Okay, the on the table for. Okay. Okay. Basically, not on the activity qualification, but can which areas that you can improve, that you can find anything. You can get it well. What's it?
For me, that one is your constant.
Oh, yeah.
You know, yes, constant.
Yeah.
But this I mean,
Oh, what and that I can go to make some value. Okay. If anyone needs to find an issue on the table for. Credit hour. Credit hour? Okay. Credit hour. It's a 4 credit hour. But right? This one is practically anything on the because anything is practically hiding. So it's practically but then I don't know that some should have community. Tidak sama, yang kita aktifin kalau can I take it out which is that every 3 hours 40 half an hour. It's ready. Yes. one credit equal to 40 national, not in the first, right, one on. He had to check it. One for me, he had yeah, so okay, good try, okay. You're going to figure out this. That, I'm not sure I know. How get how I from you. In this area, there is the Indian improvement in this level. The thing of the church. I just like in my department, we don't think it's LOD thingy. Hey, no. No, because we meant because we oh yes. Yes, it's not necessary for you to put LOD, but it's not if you are making down there or so there shouldn't be an issue. For example, the audit shouldn't be an issue. I just put it or not for the addition. Right. So it and it. So one and also so okay, C1, and then another, and then the last column you have C1. The last column. Yeah, let's see C1. Yeah. You can see the T1 here, the T1 here. You will have to the T1. Right. Okay, there was a method of, okay, when we look into here, we are basically understand they wanted to map it into the T1. Even though they have to repeat T1, T1, then now C2 is a P3, P3. C4 number 3 is P3, H3. Then we should know. No. For us, in order, and you should be much area on the writing and sort of, but as long as the mapping is right to the municipal. Okay. Yeah. That's the fact. Okay, CMO1 is a from full sector. And but over the indication that one to get to. We want to that one and that's yeah, the continuous but okay, and one get to, which is from the full sector. From the first chapter, oh yeah, like it's only once here. Okay, yeah, yeah. I'm trying to one chapter, but it's yeah, okay, but right, okay, what else? Sorry?
No time.
Shouldn't be any.
You should.
Okay. Okay, additional information that explaining the percentage. But consider that what the issue when you consider that once from the which one give a try? It's going to be maybe you want to check the check off. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. You want to try? You can find a mistake.
You never want to understand.
Nothing. Okay, I'm going to take for one institution that I recently outreach. Okay, this is not understood. Okay, I just wondering, so the names of the subjects that they are like but there any special like the common of also that teacher. It looks like the teacher. The teacher for you? No, they're not here. Yeah, that's the point. They haven't got before. They could be a this is for me for the profile sorry for application actually so they might not going to start the audit. I'm not saying not very long, but that's not to be the number of things.
Even the
So this is how it's written on the report. So you can see here, this no issue. Penyakit zero, no issue. Penyakit method pemetaan zero to zero, no issue. Kami dah pilih pembelajaran dan pembelajaran dan apa? Pembelajaran. Okay. Yes. So, what is very effective here is to the assessment. Okay. Do remember this diploma level subject. Okay. If you look into the assessment, how many assessments the student should be done? Oh, five. So we done 9 assessments. That have been tests. 4 practical work, 1 presentation. And that's what we got on this subject of year 1, semester 3. So he said, oops, enough, too much. So that's why we have 3. The students. Okay. So if you want to make a ada isu dengan topik dua hingga 6 tidak menunjukkan kenyataan yang sesuai bagi channel. Kenapa? Because if you check the CLP 2 hingga 6 mapping to CLP. Okay? Mapping to CLP, but then if you check the CLP, what is the CLP discussion on? Dan letakkan tadi, kenapa kau letakkan di calculation? Okay, guys. So there was an issue. Kalau ini sesuai, namun PPT perlu menyewa semula, adanya aktiviti bagi setiap topik, contohnya topik pattern. Tak sejajar dengan kilo 1 committee. Kalau kita check pada kilo 1, dia mapping to committee 1. What is the committee 1? Boleh. Okay? If you go for the selfie here, can you see there are messages of practice? So knowledge doesn't define practical question. It's supposed to be met under section of law. So that was an issue. Now we like maybe this one, but 100% sesuai. You can look up, you're going to see, but the other additional information is more than 5 years. Not a problem. Yeah. The main reference time should be this 5 years old. Like this. It's almost technology, that's the way that's how we check it. So we in one therefore, we're going to be, we want to see right? It will be the assessment, it will be our of SLP, and one time we can do this. Okay, not just on the CLP. Okay, yes, yes. One like April. Oh, nampak lagi, our trips will be our experiment is this Friday, and then second next year, working or much. You can make it to see the changes to the name, for example, and for the Senate, the Friday. So the Friday, the working part of the proposed for February, March.
Maybe for that. I think for better purpose.
On the February, right? That's the next one, because it's okay. The changes between the because you guys are coming from you guys from somewhere because the university for documentation, not really. Okay, because you're always going to be between either the right? Which is you can always suggest a proposal to the employee if they are if the matter which they are actually I think for the implementation of the from the way that we the documentation they said that we need February or March, but they are still in April institutionally. No, as long as they have a changes. As long as the changes are basically made before the document submission. Okay, if you want to say on the Senate started on in February, then in the Senate meeting, the implementation is a coming May semester. Okay. But then it's not in the minutes, you submit the document to the panel, And then the parent viewing, once let's say they come, okay, they're going to ask, is there LDB implemented? Because this is what they did in the meetings for. Okay, all right. All right. Diploma.
The program standards. The diploma needs to be necessarily.
It basically it depends on the PPT, not necessarily.
That's the problem.
It is actually currently expand.
Well,
This is the most whatever.
Yeah. Okay, they are discussing on what the more side of people they must test more on the technical, so it can be 70 or 100% on the project. Okay. Also, usually sometimes the people who are say that most of our subjects are actually practically. We can we do 100% software? I think yes. Okay, when we do 100% software, all the functions that point, everything that needs to be done in the computer. Even though you're going to say, I have the final practical exam, where should I put the final practical exam level 4? Should be done until continuous. So we can just and then the school year. We put their finances. It is forward to the lecture notes. We going to suggest we're going to be put under the comments. It's really for the we want to shoot everything. And then final examination or can be obstacle. For our examination, for hospitality, final examination has to be on the because we are assessing on the or it can be like can be final examination. Yeah.
But if we want to make it something, evaluate, the problem is one, the benefits. Probably.
Okay, now please, you guys are back to have questions on the lecture panel. Let's do lecture. It's basically a test for the diploma in lecture and lecture. Can you reach towards the top? This is the selection background. Actually, our industrial statements. What is that? Okay, do you want to see what that is? Yes. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. That's the reason. Okay, that's the reason. Which is financial administration sebagai diri pengajar yang menyelesaikan belakang dalam kita berpikir. Kenapa? Because with the pengetahuan yang kita dan pengetahuan populasi yang kita, so you have to have an idea what you have to for them in the exam. Oh, all right. People are saying, okay. 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 Okay, this is my suggestion to them. I finish it now. Okay. You guys agree with my suggestions for that? I just found did you guys agree? Then after, okay, whenever we are going on this, right? Then they have patient risk on the lecture advance. So what the next step we're going to do, we're going to ask for the transcript. So what I say then, diploma, degree, and master, we're going to ask for all the transcripts. Then we're going to in each transcript which one is the major for the program. Let's say, okay, the major, let's put program one is here. That's what you should calculate. We have to check from UK and the home. Now we have science because until it's not for the country, yeah, that's only 30% of it's not. Okay, so that's think that this is what. Okay, so the next one, you guys are taking questions on your software qualification after the country. Okay, betul. Okay, maksud. That way, yeah, we going to look into the what subject they're going to allow. Okay, let's say for example, this person actually has a diploma. Okay, but then they have extensive years in industry. Doctor around to check out that what actually that qualified test.
Yeah.
Kalau the qualification, but the experience.
Okay. Wanted to see either this program is actually measure areas. They are especially to because when it comes to the economic others, they are also learn how to sue. Okay, okay. The only subject of safety. So out of all the 120 subjects, we actually goes very physical therapy. So cannot even the bachelor of the PhD economic mathematics. Being suggested to be some of the letters are still not qualified, but then they are basically undercutting the issue that from the student. So my student. So we go suggest this way. The first lecture is going to be the one they are published. The second one is going to be a same. How we're going to see how the second lecture who are the teaching and get the guidance from the person. Okay, people, you can implement or take the from the will you interview the students? Yes. No. What is what is what is
It's like the
that's we go ask for the first student. The one in the middle is either going to give the semester 3 or semester 4, and the one that already finished their the last finish their internship. Oh, okay. This is this go the internship. So this is the two three group of students that we going to ask. So I can say year 1, year 2, and year 1, year 2, and then on to year 2, and about the yes, going to the LRT. Well, that's a group of students. Even if it's kind of so that kalau sini bagilah kalau mereka kata I like mesti then you can go it depends on the kind of let's just it's okay. Your problem something I will how I do that. Okay, when should I start the document? When? Okay. It's basically you have the deadline in the system, right? And then you must put a deadline and okay, I did it. Okay, you have to go to public sites. Okay. Then okay. So the time to get it at least 1 month before that. Let's say it happens the audit next month. I need to get it by now. So the budget is not but no, the section right. Then the money is performance. Because when they know whether they are coming, they okay, make one episode and we are sure. Make the sound before the months and make it in the preparation definition having the response. Really? Okay, my suggestion, okay, here, the conference time. You have to submit 3 days to the entity. You say when you want the time to come and visit. These 3 days is practically going to be checking through between the MQA. When you submit the dates, the MQA going to contact the auditor saying that okay, they should be because they have to program it to audit. Then we're going to check the date and do we are free or not. Then we're going to say, okay, I want to see on the date number 2. So we're going to pick number 2. So everything that's fully enough. That one, sorry, this the submission, the document is continuous. Document the suggestion of the dates. You can be just an email, you email on the rest. You don't even explain. You have to respond it. You can go about the thing for the okay. So okay, I will set you on the June. Then I think they put on the track. Okay, so I put I would give you a 3 days start from the approach. Okay, and okay, the application are going to fix the approach. So whenever the really say that I'm going to be ready by June. So my 3 days is practically on the June onwards. What did I do? Okay, cool. Okay, we take the function all the okay, what is clarity of people's movement again, the CQI. But recommendation when people are alive, how they become infected. So I believe by now you guys have nothing to worry about, right? Okay, you can only find somebody else saying that and what is the guys, I can always advise to the general because my specialization is on the general section. Okay, but from there we use how the overall learning experience for the student. So we are for the improvement by minute recommendation. So that whenever they come to audit, it's always going to be able. So when we see the panel, it's got for the report. Okay, cool. All right. That's it. Thank you. Can we have I'm going to pass the she will call me. Okay. That's it. Okay, actually, you are so becoming office and you can find and go into what it should be a second. It's something having I see you.